Hello magical family, I'm Savina and welcome back to the Witching Hour. Before getting into today's video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button, and if you do, thank you. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm trying to grow my channel and dedicate more time, so if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. It's been so long since I've done a paranormal video, guys. I want to say months. And I really don't know why. I absolutely love doing them. I want to get back into the groove of my channel and what I want it to be, or wanted it to be from the beginning. And that was everything Harry Potter related and paranormal related. Hence the Witching Hour. It is so me. It's such a big part of me. And I have been asked on Instagram and multiple times. There's a select few of you guys who really enjoy these videos, so I wanted to bring them back. And I have so many plans from going to places, telling you guys about my stories and experiences, and anything you want to see along the way. Today's video, as you can see in the title, is about one of my favorite places that I've been so far, in the US at least. And you guys are gonna be like, what, out of all the places? Yeah, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I love Gettysburg so much. And I don't know, we were in like the heart of like this little, you get that small town feel in Gettysburg. We stayed at the Gettysburg Hotel. Now, the experience I'm gonna talk to you about happened in not last year, the year before, so 2019, and I can't believe it's been that long. We stayed at the Gettysburg Hotel, and it is so cool. It is one of the longest running hotels in the US. Right across the street from our hotel was actually the place Abraham Lincoln stayed right before he gave the Gettysburg Address, and that was so cool. I'm also like a history nerd. I love history, I love historical sites, and I was just drawn to this place. I love this place. And it was definitely a surreal feeling. We walked along the battlefields of Gettysburg. We went to the cemetery where these soldiers were buried. We went to where Abraham Lincoln said the Gettysburg Address, gave the Gettysburg Address. You know, just that thought process of, you know, I'm walking through parts of history like where these people were. There's buildings, old buildings, from even residential to business buildings there that have cannons in them and cannon holes in them, and they're just historical, and it's wild. I can't explain it to you. From the minute we drove into this place, and even from when we got to the hotel, it was just this automatic like energy attraction there. I felt so like calm and at home in a sense, and I was feeling so many things, even from going through the battlefields and the Civil War Museum. And there's so many shops over there that, you know, have things from soldiers' diaries to clothing items to boots to things that are stained with blood. Like so much stuff, guys, so much history. And I just felt such an emotional connection to this place. Even through the battlefields and the War Museum, I felt so much sadness and connection, and I don't know how to explain it. And I kind of knew this place was like special. But yes, when it came to the connection here, and right behind the Gettysburg Hotel, there are train tracks that are still in commission today. They still work, so at like different hours you'll hear and see the train just go by behind us. Those train tracks, the train has been running since the Civil War, and it's still running, and it was a big part of the Civil War, and that's so cool. Like, yeah, I may be a nerd, I don't know, but I appreciate things like that so much. Now, when it came to paranormal for me, I knew off the bat. If you don't know, and just throwing this out there for anybody that's into the paranormal or supernatural or things like that, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with curiosity at all. But I do think, especially if you're a person that wants to explore, that you need to be careful, because I don't think people understand the repercussions or what it could bring on, what you're opening up to yourself. And it's not all like welcoming. There are some risks when it comes to certain things. If you don't know, the paranormal has always been a part of my life, like always, for as long as I can remember. I've had a ton of experiences. I still have experiences on the regular. I've seen and have experienced some crazy things, like things you see in the movies. Yeah, and I have no explanation for you. But I do know the risks that are involved. And yeah, everybody wants to pick up their camera and go to locations, and that's fine. Like, I go to locations too, but be mindful, protect yourself, and be respectful if this is something you're gonna do, of those who passed. You know, I think that's the biggest thing. At some point, if you realize, like, people's energies, like, it came from a person, and there is both good and bad out there. You know, not everybody's like, I don't know, but Casper the Friendly Ghost, not everybody's like that, okay? Not all energies are good, not all energies want to be messed with. So be respectful, don't do anything stupid. If you're gonna explore, by all means, that's fine, but know what you're getting into, because it's not all, you know, rainbows and sunshine. I'm letting you know, because then there are other energies that you cannot explain that come across as more than just bad, if you get my gist. So be careful. Also, if you're going to be a person exploring, I do not recommend trespassing or doing anything stupid. Or there are tons of places you can go that's full of history, like Gettysburg or all around, that you get permission to go into, etc. Just try to be a responsible person, okay? That's it. So my first major experience at Gettysburg, okay? I'm off my soapbox. I'm gonna, it's very brief, telling you about this, was at the Gettysburg Hotel. Our room, I can't even remember our room number, but it doesn't even matter. Our first night there, okay? So our first night at the hotel, you know, we just explored a little bit, and then we got back to the hotel just to kind of relax. From the time we were in our room, I just felt this presence, this energy, and it kind of felt like it was all around me. It felt like where I was going, it was kind of with me. Whatever it was, it didn't feel like just a person or whatever the case may be. It was just this energy that kind of like was surrounding me, enveloping me. I don't know what you would want to call it. And I didn't get any bad like reactions. Or I'm also a person, very early on, no matter what it is, I can really figure out good, bad. I could really feel what it is, or if I need to like protect myself or get away. Like, as soon as I usually interact with something, that's how it is. In this case, it was just very different for me, and I think this is what intrigued me. And it was every time we were in the room, like, I wasn't getting good, bad, anything along those lines. I was just getting neutral, which was weird. I've never experienced something like that. Where things really got crazy for me was the first night when we were tired, going to bed, boyfriend knocked out, and every time my eyes kept closing, it's like I heard like this whooshing noise. And I'd open my eyes and all I see would be like this streak of light. And that kept happening. And then at one point, like, I wasn't scared. I was just like, what the heck is going on? And I do get scared. I'm human. I do get scared of things. And I remember laying there and just finally like opening my eyes so my eyes could really start to adjust, because I'm like, maybe I'm dreaming, maybe is it raining outside, is that lightning coming into the room? I'm a person, and I'll tell you this all the time, I try to rationalize first and really get a grip on things to figure out what's going on. Just because something's happening doesn't mean paranormal, okay? I'll be the first one to tell you that. So I'm ruling things out. Nope, weather's good, not dreaming, I'm up. Okay, just saw the white light again. Something's happening, okay? I'm laying there, my eyes are adjusted, and the craziest thing, I felt so dead tired, just so tired, okay? But I could not sleep. And it went from like one or two bright lights like streaking in front or in the corner of the room every so often, to suddenly it's at one point, all of a sudden, it was just, there were curtains along the left side of me. I was closer to the window, and they started moving, like not just a little bit, like they were kind of swishing back and forth. I'm like, what is going on? That's not the AC. It hasn't done that the entire time. Couldn't explain it. And then next thing you know, the temperature just dropped, guys. I got freezing cold and I couldn't explain it. Like, I got goosebumps from head to toe, that like spine tingling feeling, like all the way from your neck down. And I was on edge. It became like alert of what was happening. And then all of a sudden, I kid you not, all of a sudden, it was just these lights everywhere, just going around the entire room. And I have never experienced anything like that. To this day, I have not experienced anything else like that. And it was just like so much energy. And it was just these lights. And the best way I could describe it to you is like when lightning strikes and it kind of like looks like it comes through into like where you are in the room, like it's that bright, except it was like streaks and moving, and it kept happening, and it was everywhere I looked. And the way I was feeling before, like the energy surrounding me, felt like what I was seeing visually. And I remember thinking like, okay, what's about to happen? What's happening next? And it was at least 5 minutes. Okay, that's how it felt, like such a long time of just watching this and me trying to like, okay. And boyfriend next to me, he's still completely knocked out. There's one point, like, I tried tapping him, he was just out. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm not gonna freak out, like, remain calm. And I closed my eyes, and I was afraid to close my eyes, honestly. At this point, I'm like, there's so much happening, I don't know what to do. So I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and I had to calm myself down. And then all I could do is kind of talk in my mind, if that makes sense. And I took a deep breath, and I said pretty much along the lines like, I see you, I acknowledge you. This is my space though. I did not invite you here. I am being respectful. I see you, I hear you, I feel you. I don't mean any disrespect or harm, but you are in my space, and that's all. Like, it just kind of came to me what to say. I was kind of just in my head and taking a deep breath. And then I opened my eyes, and the lights started calming down. And it was so surreal. They were all still there. The lights just kind of streaking, but it wasn't as fast or as like sporadic as it was. The next thing I said, and I could remember saying, was, if you were a soldier or somebody that lost your life young or something along those lines, I can't even remember it, like, I'm sorry for the family you left behind, and I do hope you can find peace. And the minute I said that, I kid you not, the minute I said that, it's like I saw one big glow, and then that was it. It all just stopped. All the lights, all the wishing and going, and I'm just looking around. And remember, I was freezing, and then turns out like I was sweating, my heart was beating really fast. I was kind of like trying to grasp my mind around what happened. Now, when I first started wrestling around, and this is what really threw me off as well, guys. When I first started like tossing and turning before the lights started, it was like around 2 o'clock. Okay, and when I told you with the lights and everything swishing by, I thought, like I said, 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. That's what it felt like to me. Now, by the time that was over and I said everything was gone, I look around and I notice that the room is starting to get a little bright. So there's some light starting to peek through, and I look outside and I see that the sun is rising. Go to like the little nightstand nearby, and I pick up my phone, and it is like 6 o'clock in the morning. And that really threw me for a loop, because I'm like, wait, it was just 2 o'clock. I knew that was happening, and then I'm like, was I dreaming the entire time? I was sitting up the entire time. I was conscious. I was like, there's no way I fell asleep for a couple hours in between this sitting up with how I am and then just waking up again. There's just, when I'm telling you, I was up. And then I kind of just looked around, and again, I'm just so dead tired. Finally, I went to sleep, and I woke up a couple hours later, and boyfriend was up, and I just told him, I'm like, I'm really tired. I feel like I didn't sleep, but I woke up feeling at peace and kind of eased off. And that feeling from the first day of like being surrounded was gone. And I was like kind of blown away, because again, never have I experienced anything like that. And I'm gonna be honest, the first time boyfriend's probably gonna hear about this is in this video, because I never told him about it because I didn't want to scare him. And we've been together for a long time. He knows what I've gone through. He's experienced a couple of things because of me. God bless him. But I didn't want to scare him, and I genuinely felt like everything was better. I was okay. I was at ease. I felt good. And I, like I said, just so connected to this place. Did not tell him because I wanted to enjoy our stay, and that was the first night. So even when we came back, did not tell him. We're going there next month. Did not tell him. Should I? I don't know. I just didn't want to freak him out. It was out of love, and just like I said, things happen to me all the time, and I don't disclose everything with everybody. Just, it is what it is. And it made me just really sit there and wonder. And the very next day is when we went to the War Museum and everything like that. And again, just so much emotion and connection to this place. I've never felt that. I don't know if it's because my energy was so open to all the energies there or what the case may be, but that was my experience at the Gettysburg Hotel. And I'm honestly, very intrigued if anything like that would happen again. I'm not sure, because that first night was it. We were only supposed to stay 2 nights. We ended up extending our stay to 3, and we were comfortable. Everything was fine. We felt safe and no other issues. I'll tell you about this really quick because I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. We went to this like haunted objects museum that they had not far from the hotel, maybe like a couple minutes drive, and they had a lot of things there. And it was just me, boyfriend, and the tour guide. It was cold. It was like 7-8 o'clock at night, maybe it was earlier, I don't know, but we were the only ones. And he decided to take us on the tour, and it's just this small like residence, upstairs, downstairs, and he was just showing us about things they have, objects they have. They had a mirror there that came from the Warrens, so Ed and Lorraine Warren, if you know anything about them. There was a mirror there from their museum, and they had a lot of things happen with that, and we've seen pictures and things like that. It was pretty cool. They had a Ouija board there that they had crazy experiences with. But the kicker for me, right, so they had this piece of wood that they have on display, and they let people touch it, and he was telling me the story behind it. The wood was used as like during the Civil War. It was just a piece that they had that had blood on it still, like dried blood in it, which when I see things like that, again, it just becomes so much more real to a situation, to people, to everything. And they let people touch it. I think he said it was from a door, maybe. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. But he said it was during the Civil War, and when they had to just do like makeshift like field hospitals, or like whatever house or whatever was around the surrounding area where they needed to just throw soldiers down and either amputate or etc. They would, anything they could find, from wood planks to doors, and this was just covered in blood. And he told me, he's like, there's people that actually have like these kind of reactions to when they touch things like that, and that's something I've never done. So I did. I remember touching the wooden plank, and it was just crazy to experience. As soon as I touched it, from my fingertips down to my elbow, or up to my elbow, whichever, got numb, like insanely numb. I held my hand on it for a couple of seconds, and it was like I just felt this energy. And then I took my hand off of it, and I had to start squeezing my hand because it just went like ice cold, and then just numb. And then for a good couple of minutes, I kept trying to squeeze my hand and go like this, because I kept saying, like, I remember looking at my boyfriend, telling him, like, I didn't really say anything to a tour guide, because he even said, like, people experience things when they touch that. I didn't want to freak anybody out. In my mind, I'm trying to rationalize it. I'm like, no, like, you know, just because he said something. And it almost felt like I am squeezing my hands, like I couldn't feel anything. And it was the weirdest sensation in my body that I felt. And then it wasn't until like later on, we were sitting there, we went to get something to eat after, and I was sitting there and I was telling my boyfriend like what I felt or experienced, and then it really like kind of hit home for me. And he was like, you know, like people, he said, you know, they did like amputations, etc. on there. He used to say maybe I was feeling something that maybe from whoever that blood was is what they felt. And when I thought about that, I had to stop for a second and think about how powerful things can be, and it blew my mind. and I'm hoping to go back there. I really, really am. When we go, who knows? I will keep you guys updated on that. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoy it. If there's any pictures I do have, I know I didn't really get... when I went, I really was just enjoying what was around me. But if you've ever had any experiences, comment down below. If you're too shy, message me on Instagram. I always respond. I love talking about things like this, your experiences, your stories. I want to know what you want to know. If you need help with something or you don't understand something, feel free to reach out to me. And with that being said, be safe. I hope you guys are doing well. And until next time, guys.